Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I'm Sean with PlayByPause. This is our first video in YouTube, and this channel is about filmmaking and content creation. So if you like this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications. My wife is a quantity surveyor, so she always brings her drawing back to home. So I thought it would be interesting if I film her working at home, but using a more cinematic way. Hope you guys like the video. Let's jump to the behind the scene. The first thing I will do before the shoot is I will list down the shot list that I want before the shoot so that I can kind of know what I want during that day itself. The gear that I use is A73, Sony 90mm macro, Tamron 17-28, Sony 85mm, and Sony 35mm. And last but not least, my gimbal, Zeiss Jena 2. Two different light setup, Godox SLB60W and LC500. As a setup, I only use one light source using Godox SLB60W and LC500. The only shot that I use LC500 is for the first shot because it's a wide shot and this LC500 is small enough to hide behind the column. As for the rest of the shot, I just use the Godox SLB60W with the honeycomb grip so that I can get a very focused lights on the set. I started off my established shot with wide-angle lens Tamron 70-28 with a Zeiss Jena 2 using a follow mode. So the first shot, I want the talents to walk into the frame after the lights turn on. To do that, I use a wireless remote control to turn on the SLB60W while I'm using my gimbal. So for the next sequence, I want to show a continuity from the previous shots. I decided to switch my lens to 35mm so that I can get a different kind of look, a more compressed look compared to the shot before. For the next shot, I was trying to be a bit more creative. I'm trying to get a POV shot of on-off button. By doing so, I kind of cut a hole at the bottom of the ring box, and then I put a wide-angle lens at the bottom of the ring box so that I can get a feel of an on-off button. With the same lens, I want to create a follow shot of the hand to the mouse after the finger pull out from the on-off buttons. This shot was simply done by holding the talent's wrist and move the hand and the camera at the same time. Just the raw footage is done without any tweaking in post. It looks fine, but after adding some digital zoom and sound effects, it looks much more smoother. So for the next sequence, I want to move the story to the monitor. By doing so, I use a monopod and a macro lens so that I can get a very smooth transition shots. I asked my talent to move the cursor from right bottom to the applications so that I can match the transition from the previous shots. Apart from that, I shot several B-roll shots of the monitor, scrolling around the applications and get some gimbal shots. For next few shots, I try a different approach. I use handheld with my macro lens so that I can get a more organic movement for it. And then I also try 85mm with my gimbals to do some tracking shots from the keyboard to the mouse. So all these shots kind of give us a more fast-paced and intense feeling. I felt a bit boring just to emphasize on the monitor itself, so I decided to get reflections of the monitor in talent eye. It just felt more connected to the real world. So for the next shot, I'm trying to get a top view because I want to show two scenes in one space. By doing that, I climb on a chair, use my gimbal, I make it to the lock mode with my camera facing down. Then I push the camera in, pan to the right followed by the talent's actions while she unfolds the drawing. For this shot, initially I'm using a wide-angle lens, but I encountered two problems. One is the whole of the drawing seems a bit too big. And then the next one is the wide-angle lens doesn't seem wide enough. So I decided to use my behind-the-scene camera, which is my GoPro, for these particular shots. For the following shot, I try to match back the previous scene. By doing that, I kind of rotate my camera 90 degrees and then I rotate back to a normal frame. Same goes to the next shots. I do a quick pan down so that I can kind of match back from the previous frame as well. By doing all these movements, I kind of get a more seamless transitions without breaking the story. To end the story, I decided to tone down the speed of the motion by doing several slide shot with my gimbal. And as for the last shot, I do a wipe shot from the column, slowly pull out from the camera, and then I let the talents walk into the camera. So that's for today's behind the scene video. Hope you guys like it. Subscribe our channels and follow our Instagram for more videos. And see you guys again.